Did you know that using thick oils like 10W40 could slowly kill your Toyota's engine? Because engineers build these engines to run on low-viscosity oils. Pour in those outdated formulas and get into trouble with poor lubrication, overheating, and nasty sludge buildup. But this is just one of many common oil mistakes Toyota owners make. This is why, in this video, I'll cover every single one of them, from the cheap oil change trap to the additive myth that's wrecked more Tacomas than you think. Stick around, because by the end, you'll know exactly how to avoid an oil-related disaster that could cost you thousands. Mistake number 1. Mixing synthetic and conventional oils. A lot of Toyota owners still believe a common myth that once you start using synthetic oil, you can never go back to conventional, or that mixing the two will damage your engine. This simply isn't true. Modern Toyota engines, whether it's the 2ARFE in a Camry or the 2GRFKS in a Highlander, can safely run on either synthetic or conventional oil, as long as the oil meets the correct viscosity, like 0W20 or 5W30, and the required API ILSAC standards listed in your owner's manual. In fact, many products on the shelf today are synthetic blends, which are a mix of both types, and they're perfectly safe. The real danger isn't in mixing oil types, it's in using oil that doesn't meet Toyota's performance specs. If you pour in something that's too thick, too thin, or lacks the right detergents and anti-wear additives, you can end up with sludge, stuck piston rings, and premature wear. So, focus on meeting Toyota's viscosity and performance standards, not on whether the oil is synthetic, conventional, or a blend. However, Toyota's rules for synthetic oil aren't the same for every engine. If your Toyota requires 0W20 synthetic oil, and it's not the 2TRFE found in some 4Runners and Tacomas, or the 3URFBE Flex Fuel Tundra and Sequoia, you can go up to 10,000 miles or 12 months between oil changes. But that doesn't mean you ignore it in the meantime. You still need to check your oil level regularly and top it off when needed to get the full benefit of synthetic protection. If your Toyota lists 0W20 only as an option instead of the main requirement, for example, in place of 5W20 or 5W30 mineral oil, you're still on the 5,000-mile or 6-month oil change schedule, even if you use synthetic. Also, the longer 10,000-mile interval doesn't replace the 5,000-mile service visit. You'll still need tire rotations, fluid checks, and other maintenance at that point. And here's a big one. If you drive in special operating conditions, like off-road on dirt roads, towing, repeated short trips in freezing weather, or long idling, you should change your oil every 5,000 miles, no matter what oil you use. For flex fuel, 3URFBE engines running on E85, Toyota says every 2,500 miles. Therefore, switching to synthetic doesn't mean you can stretch oil changes for every Toyota. The right schedule depends on your engine type and how you drive. Mistake number 2. Milky or foamy oil. If you check the dipstick on your Camry, RAV4, or Tacoma and see black oil, don't assume it's bad. For Toyota engines, whether it's the A25A FKS in the RAV4 or the 2GRFKS in the Highlander, dark oil often means it's doing exactly what it should, cleaning your engine by picking up carbon deposits, dirt, and fuel residue. That's how these engines stay smooth and reliable for hundreds of thousands of miles. What you really need to watch for is milky, foamy, or gritty oil. In a Toyota, that milky look can mean coolant is leaking into the oil, often from a blown head gasket. Something I've seen happen in neglected 2AZFE and 1MZFE engines. Foamy oil can also point to moisture contamination from frequent short trips where the engine never fully warms up. Thick, Syrupy or burnt-smelling oil is another danger sign. Modern oils designed for Toyota engines have detergents and anti-wear additives that keep working, even when the oil turns dark. So, instead of judging by color, follow Toyota's recommended oil change intervals for your specific engine, or get an oil analysis if you're unsure. Changing oil too early won't protect your Toyota. It just costs you money. Here is a pro tip for you to spot coolant contamination early. Check your dipstick and oil filler cap under good lighting. If you see a light brown creamy layer, like coffee with milk, or tiny bubbles clinging to the dipstick, that's coolant mixing with oil. In Toyotas, this often points to a failing head gasket, and catching it early can save you from a $3,000 to $5,000 engine rebuild. Mistake number 3. Engine oil with additives. It's tempting to think that pouring in an extra bottle of engine oil additive will give your Toyota more power, better fuel economy, or longer engine life. But here's the truth. Modern oils designed for Toyota engines, like 0W20 synthetic for the A25A FKS or 5W30 for older 1 GRFE and 2 UZFE engines, already contain a carefully balanced mix of detergents, anti-wear agents, and stabilizers. Adding more can upset that balance and make your oil less effective. Some aftermarket additives can thicken the oil so much that it struggles to flow through narrow oil passages, especially in newer Toyota engines with tighter tolerances. Others can break down the compounds in high-quality synthetic oils, leading to sludge buildup, premature wear, or even clogging the oil control valves in Toyota's VVTi system, which can cause rough idling and poor performance. Yes, there are rare cases where additives may help, like with older high-mileage Toyotas that burn oil or when driving in extreme conditions. But these should only be used if a qualified mechanic recommends it, and even then, the additive must be safe for your specific Toyota engine. For the best protection, stick with a high-quality oil that meets Toyota's viscosity and API ILSAC specifications. It already has everything your engine needs, no extra bottles required. Also, extra additives may sound harmless, but in Toyota engines with VVTi or dual VVTi, sludge and thickened oil can block the tiny oil passages feeding the camshaft timing gears. When that happens, your engine may throw a P0012 or P0014 code, lose power, or start idling roughly. Cleaning and repairing this can easily cost $800 to $1,500, all from a performance booster that your engine never needed in the first place. If you made it this far, then consider liking this video, giving it a thumbs up, and subscribing to my channel. This helps me bring you more honest car advice. Mistake number 4. Thicker motor oil. Many Toyota drivers think switching to a thicker oil will quiet an engine or make it last longer, especially on high-mileage models like an older Camry, Tacoma, or Sequoia. While it might seem like a quick fix for noise or minor oil consumption, in reality, it can create bigger problems. Toyota engines are engineered with extremely precise tolerances. We're talking gaps measured in thousandths of an inch. A heavier oil like 15W40 or 20W50 struggles to squeeze through those tight spaces, especially during cold starts. That's when 80% of engine wear happens. In engines like the 2ARFE, 2GRFKS, or A25AFKS, this delayed lubrication can starve the top end, causing premature camshaft wear, sticking VVTi actuators, and even increased fuel consumption. Another overlooked issue is, thicker oil makes the oil pump work harder. That means more drag on the engine, lower efficiency, and hotter operating temperatures, which can actually speed up oil breakdown. If your Toyota is burning or leaking oil, the fix isn't jumping to a thicker grade without guidance, it's diagnosing the cause. In some cases, Toyota has service bulletins addressing oil consumption, and the repair might be as simple as replacing valve stem seals or piston ring. I've seen drivers put thick oil in a 1G RFE Tacoma to stop minor oil burning, only to end up with clogged oil control valves and a $900 repair bill. Toyota's recommended viscosity exists for a reason. It's the sweet spot for flow, protection, and efficiency. Mistake number 5. Low-grade oils in older Toyota engines. Some Toyota owners with older models, like a 2005 Corolla, avoid synthetic oil because of an old belief: synthetic causes leaks. This idea has been floating around for decades, but it's based on outdated information. The truth is, today's synthetic oils are fully compatible with older Toyota engines. They're formulated with seal conditioners that help keep gaskets flexible, and their cleaning properties remove harmful sludge that's been sitting inside for years. If a leak appears after switching, it's not because the oil damaged anything. It's because the synthetic cleaned away grime that was masking an existing problem. What does damages older Toyota engines is using cheap, low-grade oils that barely meet or fail to meet Toyota's specifications. These oils can break down faster under heat, lose their protective film, and allow metal-to-metal contact in high-mileage engines. In V6 engines, this can lead to accelerated cam lobe wear, sticky hydraulic lifters, and higher oil consumption. Another hidden danger is that bargain oils often have weaker detergent packages. Over time, this can clog narrow oil passages feeding Toyota's VVTi system, causing sluggish performance or a check engine light. I've seen high-mileage 2UZ-FE Land Cruisers run strong past 300,000 miles on quality synthetic oil changed on time, and I've also witnessed similar engines ruined under 150,000 miles from running cheap bulk oil. The oil you choose is just as important as the schedule you follow. Now, if you have ever looked at a bottle of motor oil and wondered what those numbers mean, let's break it down so it actually makes sense, and more importantly, so you choose the right one for your Toyota. Those numbers are all about viscosity, which is just a fancy way of saying how thick or thin the oil is, and how easily it flows through your engine. Think of it like this: water moves quickly, honey moves slowly. Water has low viscosity, and honey has high viscosity. And just like honey gets thicker in the fridge, motor oil thickens in cold weather too. That's why oil is designed to be thin enough to flow when your engine is cold, but still thick enough to protect moving parts once it's hot. The Society of Automotive Engineers, SAE, created a grading system to measure this. Here's how it works. The first number, like 0W or 5W, tells you how well the oil flows in cold weather. Lower numbers flow better in winter. The second number, 20, 30, 40, shows how thick the oil stays at hot engine temperatures. Higher numbers mean thicker protection under heat. So, if your Toyota's manual says 0W20, that means it flows extremely well when cold, but still offers strong protection when hot, perfect for modern engines. Still not sure which oil your Toyota needs? With so many bottles and numbers staring at you from the shelf, picking the right engine oil can feel overwhelming. But for Toyota owners, it's actually pretty simple if you know where to look. Check the oil cap. Pop the hood and take a quick look at your Toyota's oil cap. Many models, from Camrys to Tacomas, have the recommended grade, like 0W20 or 5W30, printed right on top. This is the fastest way to confirm what your engine is designed for. Read the owner's manual. Your Toyota's manual is basically its health guide. It doesn't just list the correct oil type and capacity, it also explains temperature ranges, service intervals, and extra tips to keep your engine running smoothly for hundreds of thousands of miles. Ask the experts. Not sure where to start? Your Toyota dealership or any reputable auto parts store can pull up your exact oil spec in seconds. Just give them your year, model, and engine size, and they'll match it to the manufacturer's recommendation. Use a trusted repair guide. If you're a DIY fan, resources like Haynes, AllData, or Identifix go beyond oil specs. They also cover torque settings, fluid capacities, and repair steps for brakes, spark plugs, and other key systems, perfect for keeping your Toyota in top shape. Knowing your exact oil spec means you avoid guesswork, protect your engine's warranty, and keep your Toyota performing exactly as its engineers intended. If you're enjoying this video, consider watching $0 Toyota Reset. Trick mechanics, hate that fixes everything. Where I've shared 7 reset tricks mechanics use to restart your car's ECU.